sorry, y'all. Kids. Hey, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. So let me go ahead and put this disclaimer out. Danielle's best friend is here, and they are deciding they're going to be Bob the Builder today. So any banging or yelling that you may hear, the kids are perfectly fine. Moving on. Anywho, so we are in the Goddess of Love this month. We all know that it is a time for love, and there are a lot of people out here who really hate this month. So I'm going to do about a 4-part series, and this is a chit chat, girl talk, whatever you want to call it. And we're just going to talk about a few things in the aspect of love. So go on, grab your tea, grab your wine. It's happy hour somewhere. Close the door, the kids is fine. You hear mine. And let's get into this chit chat because it's going to be good and you don't want to miss it. All right. So today's topic, we cannot talk about any other relationship before we talk about self-love and being okay with being single. Now, before you come for me, I know some of y'all like, I know good and darn well she not about to be up here talking about being okay with being single and she's whole married. I see what you did there. I am whole married. However, I have been looking at some bomb boss babes who are enjoying single life. And just reading up on a lot of things that I really wish I would have done prior to getting in a relationship, because maybe, just maybe, I wouldn't have gave this man such a hard time all the time. Maybe, just maybe, I could have received a good man earlier than I did. I'm just saying. So, I'm trying to save you the heartache and the trouble. So let me help you. You'll thank me later. So let's get into this thing. So here's the thing. A lot of times, many women or anybody has a hard time being completely single or alone. Now, granted, in the times that we in, you kind of have no choice but to do that. But in normal life, a lot of people have really hard time being completely single and alone. Now, some people be like, well, I ain't been in a relationship about 5-6 years. Yeah, but here's the thing. If you still had a buddy or somebody, you still won't completely single. And I don't blame you, because honestly, before I got in a relationship or whatever, if I was single, then I would hopefully, a lot of the times I had friends who either weren't single or who weren't in relationships, or I'm in a sorority, so I have a bunch of sisters, and so we was always hanging on the regular. Like, I would get out of class and we would meet up and we would hang hardcore until time for me to be about to go home, because I figure by the time I get home, I'm tired and I won't notice how alone I am. Also, if you didn't have a man, then you probably, or a partner, I should say, then you probably had a friend's benefit. I did. No shame here. Don't judge me, judge yo. So yeah. So, I'm just saying, you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, and so I just really feel like we just need to normalize being okay being single. There's nothing wrong with being single, because during your single time, I really feel like it's very important when you go through anything, really, but specifically a relationship, to take the time to really grieve and mourn the relationship, especially if you've been together and you really invested that time in there. You need to go through all the levels of grieving. You need to be, the initial shock that y'all done broke up. You need to accept it. You need to cry. And honestly, the thing of the matter is, a lot of people like to jump back up right after a relationship, because, especially in my culture, I can only speak about mine, black women are supposed to be mad strong. Like strong. We don't let nobody get to us. Don't let nobody show you weak. And I'm not saying you weep on the internet or put it all over Facebook, but what I am saying is that it is okay to cry yourself to sleep and get it all out. Because then at that point you could begin to heal properly, because you have done what you needed to do with it. Because the thing of the matter is that if you don't properly heal from your relationship, then you're going to bring whatever part that you didn't heal from into your next one. And then if that one doesn't work out, so you got the one from the last one and this one, it just keeps building and building and building. And when Mr. Right come, man got a whole bridge to knock down. Insert clear. So yeah. So I'm just saying, like, let's not make it hard on anybody else. And even if we don't really care about what he got to do, because if he want me, he'll do it. And that is true. But in the same instance that you go through, because you didn't properly mourn, or deal with the relationship and heal, you can't even accept the real man that he good. He is good to you, and you still think he ain't hitting on nothing. I'm just saying. So yeah, so go through and really deal with that breakup. And then once you really deal with it, then that's the time to figure out what lessons did you learn from this relationship. Let's just be real. Whether it was a horrible relationship or not, there was a lesson that you did learn. And some of the relationships I have learned to don't let anybody make you feel like you're not good enough. Nobody. Because I may not be your Mrs. Right, but guess what? You made room for my husband, baby. So thank you. So what I'm saying is, I'd have been told many times, I was good enough to do this, but I wasn't good enough to be, a girlfriend. Maybe not in that term specifically, but I have been made to feel like, dang, I'm just good for the cheeks, but I ain't good for nothing else. Plot twist, hold Mary. Just saying. So yeah, I learned, don't let anybody ever make you feel like you're not good enough. You are the cream of the crop, baby. Like, you a 10-course meal. Like, I'm just saying, you get with it or you gone. I also let myself realize that just because that relationship didn't work doesn't mean that I'm just doomed for here into eternity. That is not what that means by any means. So again, there are lessons that you learn from each situation. Take those. Then also look at things like, what did you contribute to the demise of that relationship? And I know you may not have been may not have been the reason for the breakup, but maybe, hey, was you nagging a lot? Were you so hurt? Were you so hurt from your last relationship that you brung that, and he just won't hear for it? Just think of those things, and you can take those things and make sure, big things, but those are things that you can look and analyze for yourself to make yourself a better partner to somebody else. Because it may not be Leroy, Henry, or whoever that be Mr. Right, but at least all in all, you want to make yourself try to be the best partner that you can be to whoever God has sent for you. Now, granted, if God has sent him for you, then he's going to be there to the end. But let's at least not let the man that God has sent us, have to work so hard if we ain't got to. Anywho's, moving on. So then once you do that, then you may realize that I don't care what type of relationships that you are in, you do lose a piece of you. And it may not always be for the bad. It may be for the good, but there may be a piece of you that you may have. Because let's think about it. When you're in love and you see something that your partner likes, or, something that he, may say, hey, I wish you would da-da-da-da. And granted, if you don't want to, then you ain't got to, because he should love you. Your partner should love you for who you are. I'm just saying. Now, but maybe there's some things that you decided, hey, I don't mind, I'll give that a try and see what happens, and it works out good. But on the other hand, there are times when we do things for our significant other because we want them. We'll do anything for them. When you in love will make you do some crazy things, and you may find that you lost a piece of yourself that you want back. So by the time you get that back, and you realize it's almost like when your phone has to do an update, so you're updating yourself to be to be able to be more efficient, to be a better version of yourself than you were before. So of course, once you do that, why not bask in the updated version of you before you got to be, a whole partner to somebody? I'm just saying. And I say this because I look back on my life, and I'm an older sibling. I've shared a room with my sibling. I've been a roommate. I've never lived alone. And now I'm a wife and a mother, and that's just non-existent at this point. So the thing of the matter that I say all that to say is to enjoy being alone and being single and embrace it, because once you put on the hats of being married and being a mother or being a parent, there is no real legit alone time like that. It's far few in between. And when you've always been with people all the time, you're going to always, when you get older, you're going to want to scream because now you can't get it. So bringing it to take it all in now, because like I say, when you put these other hats on, they don't happen like that. So I say that also to say that there are things, now you could definitely take yourself out to eat. There's nothing wrong with eating alone. Okay? There are perks to being single. There's nothing like not having to get dressed and and sit in your PJs and binge watch Netflix shows or your own shows, and then gotta text nobody back if you don't want to. You ain't gotta talk on the phone with nobody if you don't want to, and you could starfish in the bed. Y'all, starfishing is blessed. I only get to starfish for a little bit of time until Bay get home. But I'm just saying it's the best feeling ever. So what I'm saying is there are perks to being home. That quiet time, that when you've been out with your friends and everybody, ooh, and then you get to come home to silence. There's people over here like me that doesn't happen. So check on your other friends who you may get upset with them, but we'll get into a friends segment. We won't go too far in that. We'll cross that bridge shortly. But you'll see that when you got friends who are married, they are parents, okay, and when they don't want to come hang when the world is better, don't be in your feelings. We tired. We want to go lay down. But again, that's another segment, another time. So, like I say, really embrace it's okay to be single. It's okay to do things for yourself. For this Valentine's Day, girl, send yourself some edible arrangements. Go on and order yourself the forever flowers I be seeing people talk about. Okay? Do stuff nice for you. Go get you a massage. Okay? Cook you a bomb dinner or get you something delivered. Because honestly, when it's just you, stuff is for the low. You could go to Cheesecake Factory, because what you really about to spend, what, $20, $30 on you? And you done got a whole course meal. I'm just saying. So I just really say, even if, I'm joking, but there's nothing wrong with doing those things for yourself. But all in all, when you're embracing the singleness, when you finally healed from past relationships, you've gotten rid of any voids and scars and things, and you've asked God to help you, because there's some things that you can't do by yourself, that you're gonna need to be healed and delivered from. Sorry if you don't like religion, but I'm just saying you can skip past this part. But there are some things that you're going to need to deal with on the inside that you can't expect your partner to fix for you. That's not fair. So if there are things that you are coming into the relationship with that you should have dealt with when you were by yourself, then you should do that. Because again, if that person is meant for you, yes, they'll be here to the end. But it isn't exactly fair to make them have to pay for things that they didn't even know you and they're having to fix for you. So get yourself where you are, heal, enjoy being alone and being single, so that you're that much able to receive a good relationship and be the best partner that you can be, because you are good. All in all, being single is not just like, oh, I don't have nobody. It's a time to repair yourself. Like, make sure you're good, because you can't love somebody else until you fully love you. And y'all, this is a word. If I could tell this to my old self, this would be what I would tell her. I would play her this video. So thank me. I'm being funny, not really like that, but really take heed what I'm saying, because these are things that I wish that I knew when I was back in that time. Things that I wish I knew before I got into this relationship. I love my man to death, but I just feel like there were some things I didn't have to put him through. There were certain hurts I didn't have to do, because if I was in the right mindset and had dealt with things would have been different. So I hope you guys really found this Girl Talk Chit Chat really helpful. question of the day. Comment down below some things you like to do for yourself when you're doing self-love to give everybody some ideas. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Become part of the Goddess family. We would love to have you. And make sure and turn on that notification bell because you do not want to miss the rest of the content I have for this month. I love you guys. Stay safe.